All right, so I've been trying to record this, but it's not working. So here are the answers. I will try to record. If you have any questions on one or two, you can ask in class prior to the test if I don't get a chance to record this again. Otherwise, here are the answers for 1 and 2. You can pause this, and then I'll move on. All right, for number 3. So it is a trinomial, so we're going to look to do a times c. So a times c is negative 36. And what two numbers multiply to negative 36? That add up to negative 35. Well, that happens to be just negative 36 and 1. Use the Punnett Square. A term, top left. C term, bottom right. Negative 36 and 1 are going to go in the other blanks with the x squared, because that's the middle term, what it has to add up to. Greatest common factor of the bottom row is negative 9. Top row is x squared. First column is 4x squared. It's always the smallest of the x. And last row, or last column, is just 1. Strange. All right, so we have 4x. That's a positive 1, so it'll be a plus 1 up top. 4x squared plus 1, and x squared minus 9. At this point, we need to look at, are there any difference of squares? So we're looking, is there a subtraction? No. You can't factor this binomial. Second one, is there a subtraction? Yes. Can you square root both terms? X squared, square root is x. Square root of 9 is 3. So yes, we can. So that one, we can actually break that down further. So we have square root of x squared is x. So in both binomials, you have the first term is x. Square root of 9 is 3, so it'll be 3. And then one of the factors is plus, one is a minus. And that is the difference of squares. And then the first factor, 4x squared plus 1, that does not work because of the plus. So there has to be a subtraction, hence the difference of squares. All right, number 4. Always look to see if there's a greatest common factor right away. And in this case, there is x. You can divide both terms by x. So what you're doing is you're undividing it, undistributing it. And after you undistribute it, we're then looking inside here. Is there anything we can do to factor that further? Well, it's not a square, it's a cube, so we should be thinking sum or difference of cubes. Can you cube root that first term? Yes, that's 2x. Cube root of 27, that is 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 2x times 2x times 2x is 8x cubed. So if you can do that, then this is the sum of cubes. It's sum because there's a plus. So sum of cubes formula for inside, well, let's have the x on the outside first. And then on the inside, it's a plus b. Then it's a squared. Oh, that's not good. 2x squared. Opposite sign of what it started with, a times b. And this formula, you should have this in your notebook, plus b squared. And we have x on the outside, 2x plus 3. 2x squared. 2x squared is 2x times 2x, or 4x squared. 2x times 3 is negative 6x plus 9. And which one will that match up with? There we go, the bottom one. Perfect. Notice I never looked at the multiple choice at all until the end. Then you compare. Always do multiple choices if it's not multiple choice. All right, I see a trinomial, 3 terms. So that's telling me we need to do a times c. So 1 times 12 is 12. What two numbers multiply to 12 that add up to 7? And that's 3 and 4. Punnett Square. X to the 4th, 12. So a and c, 3x squared. It's got to add up to the middle term. Bottom row, GCF. Top row, GCF. First column, GCF. Last column, GCF. There's a positive 4, so it'll be plus 4. There's a positive 3, so plus 3. X squared plus 3, x squared plus 4. We should look to see if we can factor these further. x squared plus 3, there's a positive in the middle, so it's not a difference of squares. It has to be subtraction. Same thing with the second. Therefore, you can't factor this any further, those binomials, and that is it. Number 6, is there a GCF? Greatest common factor, I can divide out all of those. 64 is 2, no, not 125, there's nothing. Can we, I see cubed, so that should tip us off that is sum or difference of cubes. Can we cube root 64? And if you're struggling with these, think about it. 64 breaks down 32 and 2, 8 and 4. It'll break down. You can break it down any which way you want. Really what we're looking for is, it's a cube root, so we're looking for groups of 3. So 3 2s, another 3 2s, so that's 2 times 2, which is 4. Cube root of 64 is 4. So cube root of 64 is 4. Cube root and cube are opposites. They simplify. So this actually ends up being 4x. The cube root of 64x to the third is 4x. The cube root of 125 is going to end up being 5. 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So this is your A, 4x, B is 5. It is a difference of cubes, so we're going to use difference. So it'll be 4x. It starts out with this difference or subtraction. So A minus B. Then it's A squared. And then it's opposite of the sign it started with, and it's A times B. And then it's always positive B squared. Simplifying, we have 4x minus 5. That doesn't simplify. First term here of this trinomial, you can simplify 4x squared means 4x times 4x, or you can distribute out this exponent to 16x squared. 4x times 5 is 20x, and 5 squared is 25. If you're using a sum or difference of cubes, you're not going to have anything you can factor any further. All right, number 7, trinomial, any greatest common factor? No. We do A times C. Let two numbers multiply to -6 that add up to 1. -2 and 3. Because that's -2 plus 3 is 1, and that's -6. Need it to add up to B. A term top left, C term bottom right. 2x squared and 3x squared. Got to add up to the middle. The other two, you have to add up to the middle term, so you have the x squareds on them. Bottom row GCF is going to be 1. The 2 is negative, so bring a negative out. Top row GCF looks like just x squared. First column GCF looks like 2x squared. Last row GCF looks like 3. The 3 is positive, so it'll be a plus 3. Let's rewrite what we have on the outside. Those are our factors. Looking at our binomials, is it a subtraction in the middle? Nope. It's square, so there's no difference of squares here, so that's going to be one of our factors. Can't factor it any further. The next factor is the subtraction in the middle and square. Can you square root both terms? Square root of x squared, yep. Square root of 1, yep. So square root of x squared is x. Square root of 1 is 1. One of the factors is positive, one's negative. And there is your 3 factors. That would multiply. If you multiply it all out, you get 2x to the 4th plus x squared minus 3. Number 8, we have, is there a greatest common factor? Yes, you can divide by 2. Sorry, greatest common factor is 2. Ax to the 3rd minus 1 is left. Then look on the inside. Can we factor that binomial further? Well, I see to the 3rd power, so it's cubic. So we should think, can we cube root the first term? Yes, that's 2x. Can we cube root the second term? Yes, that's 1. Cube root just means, what are 3 of those that multiply to whatever you're cube rooting? So 2x times 2x times 2x does equal 8x to the 3rd. 1 times 1 times 1 does equal 1. All right, so we have the 2 on the outside. That is one of our factors. And then we have A. It's a difference of squares, so it's same sign minus B. And you have A That is not a squared. Then its opposite of that is plus 2x times 1, so a times b, plus b squared. Two x squared is end up being 4x squared, plus 2x times 1 is 2x, and 1 squared is 1. There's your final answer. Number 9. Looks like a trinomial. Is there a greatest common factor? We have 4, 20, no. X squared, x, no x. So nothing. Nothing, no common, greatest common factor. It's a trinomial. I see quadratics, so let's go with a times c. And what two numbers multiply to 100? That would add up to negative 20. Well, there you go, negative 10 and negative 10. Put this into the Punnett Square. Ooh, that's a big Punnett Square. A term top left, C term bottom right. The two numbers we just came up with the B terms variables, x, y. Greatest common factor of the bottom row is 5. The y and y squared is the smallest of the y's is y. 10 is negative, so it'll be a negative 5. Greatest common factor of the top row is the biggest number you can divide out evenly is 2x. Greatest common factor of the first column is 2x, and the last column is 5y. 10 is negative, so we'll bring a negative up. Let's rewrite this and see what we have. All right, we have, they're exactly the same. So let's take a look at them. It is a negative or subtraction in the middle, but neither is squared, so we cannot break this down any further. One thing you can do is, since both binomials are exactly the same, you can rewrite it with an exponent. So you can write it this way or this way. Number 10, we have 4 terms. 4 terms, turns out the Punnett Square has 4 blanks. Let's put them in. First term, top left. Last term, bottom right. Other 2 terms. Greatest common factor of the bottom row. 3, the negative, it's negative 3, so we'll bring a negative out. First term, top row is x. First column, x squared. Last column, 5. Bring a negative out. X squared minus 5, x minus 3. Look to see if you can factor either one. We have a subtraction, we have a square, so this is looking like it's going to be a difference of squares. You can square root the first term, but you cannot square root the second, so this is not a difference of squares. So we are going to, this is so close, but the 5, there's nothing there. X minus 3, look at that. Can we factor that any further? This is a difference, but there's no exponent, so no. Number 11, any greatest common factor? No. There's 3 terms, so let's look at a times c. Negative 36, what 2 numbers multiply to negative 36 that add up to negative 5? And there we go, it's negative 9 and 4. Use the Punnett Square. First term, top left. Last term, bottom right. Negative 9 and 4 with the x, y. Now we look at the greatest common factor of the bottom row. That is going to be y with the negative because the 9 is negative. Top row is going to be 2x. First column, 9x. And last column is 2y. 4 is positive, so bring that up, positive. 9x plus 2y, 2x minus y. Look at each binomial. Neither one has a square on it, so there's going to be nothing else we can do. Last one. Looks very similar to 12, looks just like 10. So 4 terms, put it in the Punnett Square. So you have 3x to the third, negative 10y squared, negative 5xy, and 6x squared y. Greatest common factor of bottom row is negative 5y. Top row, 3x squared, okay. First column, x, last column, 2y. We have positive 6, so that's a plus 2, so x plus 2y, and 3x squared minus 5y. Look at each individual factor. Can we factor it further? There's no exponent, nope, and the binomial has a plus, so no. So second factor, yes, as an exponent, yes, it's a subtraction. Can we square root? No, can't square root 3. It's not a perfect square. So you cannot factor that further. So our final answer is what we already had. All right, hopefully you did well. Come to class, I'll answer some questions at the beginning of class.